2025 might not have been overflowing with romance anime, but the ones we did get delivered some of the sweetest, most emotional, and most beautifully crafted love stories we've seen in years. While a few long-awaited sequels finally made their return, several new titles quietly slipped in and surprised everyone with their charm, depth, and chemistry. We got everything from gentle, slow-burn relationships to supernatural romances built around tension, mystery, and those soft moments that pull you in before you even realize it. So today, we're counting down the top 10 romance anime of 2025, the shows that stood out, made our hearts do backflips, and reminded us why this genre always finds a way to stay special. Whether you kept up with every premiere or missed a few hidden gems along the way, don't worry, I've got you covered. Starting off our list, we have a chapter that isn't romance-heavy, but still carries that emotional sincerity the series is known for. Rascal does not dream of Santa Claus. The story follows Sakuta as he steps into university life, finally settling into the same routine as Mai. Things feel calm, steady, and almost like the peaceful beginning of a new stage. But that quiet is soon broken when Uzuki, the bright, upbeat idol from Sweet Bullet, starts acting out in ways she can't explain. Beneath all the smiles, she's overwhelmed by pressure and popularity she never asked for. And when Nodoka reaches out for help, Sakuta finds himself pulled into another case of puberty syndrome. Even though the romance isn't in the spotlight this time, it still lingers in the background, giving us that gentle, mature, wholesome connection between Sakuta and Mai. Their bond brings a steady warmth to the story. A reminder that love can grow quietly, even when life shifts in different directions. It's softer and more introspective than others on this list, but still delivers sincere, comforting emotions. And if you enjoy romance that grows through quiet trust instead of dramatic twists, this is one you definitely won't want to miss.
どうしたのよ。
舞さん。
どうしたの？
舞さんのことは僕が守るから。
じゃあ、サクタのことは私が守ってあげる。
Coming in at number 9, we've got a workplace romance that feels refreshingly real in a genre that usually leans into unrealistic tropes. I Have a Crush at Work. The story follows Yui, a competent but slightly reserved office worker, and Masugu, her calm and reliable coworker. Their relationship begins quietly and in secret, leading to a mix of sweet moments, nervous tension, and the kind of everyday challenges for anyone dating at work. From stolen glances during meetings and whispered conversations in hallways, to the fear of nosy colleagues catching on, the show captures the subtle magic of falling for someone you see every day. What makes this anime shine is how realistic it is. The chemistry between Yui and Masugu feels genuine, not exaggerated, not overly dramatic. Instead of relying on endless misunderstandings, the series focuses on real-life issues. The pacing is smooth and mature, letting their relationship grow naturally without rushing it or dragging it out. And that realistic setting let their romance stand out from everyday high school love stories. It's mature, wholesome, and a little too relatable. It's the perfect pick if you love simple, grounded romances that feel honest and real.
付き合ってるんですよね。二人は内緒で。
Coming in at number 8, we have an anthology that hits completely differently from anything else on this list. Tatsuki Fujimoto, 17 to 26. Instead of one long narrative, this anime adapts a series of short, self-contained stories. Each one exploring love, loss, longing, and all those messy, complicated emotions that sit between them. What makes this anthology stand out is Fujimoto's signature storytelling, simple on the surface, but emotionally sharp underneath. Every episode introduces new characters, new dynamics, and new relationships. Yet somehow, each story wraps up so cleanly and powerfully that you end up staring at the screen afterward, just absorbing what you watched. Some stories are sweet, some are tragic, some are funny, in that strangely offbeat Fujimoto way, and a few will hit harder than you expect. Also, the shifting animation styles give the series an artistic vibe, as if you're flipping through someone's collection of emotional memories. Because it's an anthology, the experience can feel uneven. Not every episode carries the same emotional punch. Some stories end almost too quickly, and not all of them are about romance. Each episode feels like an emotional postcard, delivering its message and then quietly stepping away. It's a unique little journey through all kinds of hearts. And if you enjoy emotional storytelling with a creative twist, this one feels like discovering a hidden box of memories you didn't realize you wanted to open.
人魚は人間を食べることがある。それでも。
Sliding into number 7, we return to a world that only comes alive after dark. Call of the Night Season 2. And just like the first season, this one brings back that dreamy nighttime vibe. Neon lights, empty streets, and that strangely soothing loneliness that only this series can pull off. Season 2 picks up with Ku still wrestling with his feelings. Not just about becoming a vampire, but about what Nazuna truly means to him. Their relationship has always been messy, awkward, and a little chaotic. But here, it evolves into something deeper. The romance isn't loud or dramatic. It glows quietly under the surface, in soft conversations, lingering gazes, and moments where neither of them knows how to put their feelings into words. What makes this season shine is how it pushes the characters forward. Ku faces new dangers and emotional crossroads, and Nazuna starts confronting feelings she's avoided. Their connection becomes more intimate and more vulnerable, without losing that laid-back humor and charm. The visuals are as stylish as ever, with gorgeous nightscapes and fluid animation that make every scene feel captivating and surreal. The pacing is slower and some parts take their time, but that's exactly what gives the romance room to breathe. It's emotional, mysterious, and quietly enchanting. It's a late-night love story that pulls you in like a city you can't stop wandering through.
誰かと来るのに憧れてた。それがこうくんでよかった。
At number 6, we have one of the most visually striking and emotionally layered romance anime of the year, Kowloon Generic Romance. And honestly, the first thing that hooked me was the art style. It has this soft, nostalgic look, almost like a retro manga brought to life, with rich colors and beautifully detailed backgrounds that make every frame feel both familiar and slightly surreal. This story takes place in a fictional version of Kowloon, a dense maze of narrow alleyways, tiny storefronts, and glowing signs that carry an old-style charm. At the center of this world are Reiko and Hajime, two co-workers whose relationship grows through simple daily interactions, quiet conversations, and moments of warmth that slowly build into something deeper. What makes this romance stand out is the way it blends realism with a subtle, lingering mystery. Kowloon feels real, yet there's always this sense that something is just out of sight. Reiko herself holds secrets she can't fully understand, and Hajime's feelings grow with a mix of longing and uncertainty. Their relationship feels tender, genuine, realistic. The pacing is intentionally slow, letting emotions build through the subtle tension between what the characters want and what they're afraid to confront. It's a romance wrapped in sci-fi mystery, nostalgia, and that bittersweet feeling of falling for someone who feels just out of reach. And it's the kind of love story that lingers in your thoughts long after it ends.
私は工藤さんの知ってるクジライ玲子ではないんでしょ。
知らないのはお前の方だろ。
At number 5, we've got a sequel that comes back louder, crazier, and somehow even more lovable than before, Dandadan Season 2. If Season 1 felt like aliens, ghosts, romance, and chaos thrown into a blender, Season 2 feels like someone hit the turbo button and walked away. We're back with Okurin and Momo, a duo whose connection grows deeper even as the world around them gets absolutely ridiculous. Their relationship has always been this blend of shy tension and growing affection, even if neither of them is ready to say it out loud. Season 2 takes it up a notch, giving us more heartfelt moments in between the outrageous battles and supernatural insanity. What makes this season shine is the balance between absurd comedy and genuine emotion. One minute you're laughing at Okurin's over-the-top reactions, the next you're watching him risk everything for the people he cares about. And Momo also gets more spotlight this season. Their interactions feel warm, chaotic, and full of that messy teenage energy that makes this series stand out. And of course, the animation from Science Saru is absolutely wild. Whether it's a quiet moment between Momo and Okurin or one of their crazier encounters, the expressive art style makes their connection feel even more alive. It's bizarre, emotional, and it's endlessly entertaining. It's a supernatural roller coaster fueled by romance, comedy, and pure creative energy.
私の方こそごめん。助けるって言ったのに。生きててよかった。
At number 4, we're diving back into one of the most addictive rom-coms of recent years, My Dress Up Darling Season 2. And just like before, Marin and Gojo's chemistry is the star of the show. Chaotic, adorable, and just spicy enough to make you double-check who's around before you keep watching. The story picks up with Marin being her loud, bubbly, cosplay-obsessed self, and Gojo continuing to be the soft, hard-working king of, I have no idea how to handle this girl. But the real charm isn't just the cosplay. It's how their relationship grows through all the awkwardness and clumsy feelings they still can't fully express. Season 2 leans even deeper into that tension, giving us sweeter moments, more vulnerable conversations, and yes, some scenes that feel like the animators knew exactly what they were doing. What really makes this season shine is how naturally everything develops. The romance is cute without being too cheesy, the comedy lands without trying too hard, and the cosplay designs are still absurdly detailed, proving Cloverworks has no intention of holding back. Sure, some fan service moments might feel a little extra, and if you're not a fellow degenerate weeb, it might not be your thing. But beneath all that, the core of the show remains the same. It's a warm, charming romance wrapped in a cosplay and youthful awkwardness. And returning to it feels like slipping back into a world you genuinely missed.
北川さん。
At number 3, we step back into a palace full of beauty, danger, and unspoken feelings that simmer beneath every conversation. The Apothecary Diaries Season 2. If Season 1 introduced us to Mao Mao's sharp wit and unpredictable adventures inside the inner palace, Season 2 shows us what happens when the mysteries get darker, the politics get heavier, and the emotions get much more personal. Mao Mao continues to shine in every scene, clever, observant, and hilariously blunt in all the ways only she can be. But what truly elevates this season is how much more vulnerable she becomes. The stakes are higher, the case is more complex, and her place in the palace grows increasingly tangled with secrets she never asked to be part of. And then there's Jinshi. Their relationship has always been a slow burn, full of teasing, tension, misunderstandings, and moments where one subtle gesture speaks louder than an entire confession. Season 2 turns that simmer into something warmer, deeper, and at times, surprisingly tender. Every glance, every shared moment, every accidental touch feels charged in a way that makes the romance impossible to ignore. The animation is vibrant and detailed, and even though the romance is a subplot, the emotional depth and sincerity of their connection make it stand out as one of the best romances of the year. It's a season that blends charm, tension, and hidden desires with effortless grace. And if you love romances that build slowly, steadily, and with real emotional depth, this one is unforgettable.
ない。失礼しました、ジンス様。
At number 2, we have a series that has quietly taken over the romance genre with its sincerity and emotional maturity, Blue Box. This isn't just another school romance. It's a story about ambition, vulnerability, and the kind of feelings that grow slowly, quietly, and all at once. We follow Taiki, a hardworking badminton player with a gentle heart, and Chinatsu, the rising basketball star who suddenly ends up living under the same roof after her family circumstances change. Their connection isn't built on cliches, it's built on small moments that feel incredibly real. What makes Blue Box shine is how authentic the emotions are. Taiki's admiration, Chinatsu's warmth, the shy glances, the quiet encouragement, the unspoken tension. Everything feels grounded. It's a romance that understands what it means to want something deeply while still growing up. Instead of just relying on dramatic twists, the story focuses on effort, both in sports and in love. Watching Taiki push himself, not to impress Chinatsu, but to match her dedication, feels genuinely inspiring, and Chinatsu's subtle reactions, her soft smiles and supportive moments make every scene between them feel wholesome. The visuals are stunning and expressive, the tone stays warm and comforting, and every episode leaves you wanting just a little more. It's a slow, steady love story that builds its warmth piece by piece, until you suddenly realize how deeply you've fallen for it.
俺には毎朝一番に会いたい人がいる。会いたい人が。
And at number 1, we have one of the most heartfelt and refreshingly grounded romance anime of the year, The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This is the kind of love story that doesn't need dramatic twists or exaggerated tropes. It builds its charm through sincerity, soft emotions, and characters who feel incredibly real. The story follows Rintaro, a quiet boy from a modest family who spends his afternoons working at a small cake shop, and Karuko, a graceful girl from a wealthy background whose life seems worlds apart from his. Their first interactions are simple and polite, but underneath those moments is a growing connection filled with curiosity, admiration, and a warmth neither of them fully understands at first. What makes this anime stand out is how beautifully it handles differences like social class and lifestyle without turning them into melodrama. Instead, the story focuses on the small things, the nervous smiles, the hesitant conversations, the gentle acts of kindness that slowly melt the distance between them. Their chemistry feels soft, quiet, and wholesome. The visuals are elegant and warm, perfectly matching the tone of the romance. And the pacing is slow enough to let the emotions breathe, but steady enough that every episode feels meaningful. It's tender, realistic, and full of those little moments that make your heart feel full. It's a romance that stays with you long after you finish watching.
他でもないあなただから、私は知りたいと思ったんですよ。
And that wraps up our list of the top 10 romance anime of 2025. From quiet workplace crushes and dreamy late-night connections to heartfelt relationships woven into bigger stories, each of these anime brought something special this year. So, what do you think? Did your favorite make the list, or do you have another anime you think deserves the spotlight? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep making more countdowns and anime deep dives every week. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care, stay cozy, and enjoy your anime nights.